Hello, everybody. Whew, that was a rush. I almost did not make it today. Got a lot going on, but I just had to come here because the person who asked the question, I want them to get the answers to their question. So I am showing. So welcome to Nonprofit Nugget with Dr. Deborah. I am Dr. Deborah Dunston, nonprofit strategist and funding coach, an award winning fundraiser, and I'll be giving you a little something to chew on. And so today's question actually is this is a question that I was so kind of surprised to get it. I must say, I was kind of surprised to get the question because I didn't even know anybody was thinking about donors. Most of the time, when people ask me questions, it's about getting a grant. But I like to say that one of the main things you should do when starting a nonprofit is to start your donor pool, start making a donor list, start getting donors together, because that should be the biggest piece. That in earned revenue, earned income stream, should probably be the biggest pieces of the pie of your fundraising plan. It don't mean everybody is like that, but grants should only be about 12 to 15%. So I was glad when somebody asked this question, actually. And I'll probably start speaking more on this kind of stuff, things that have to do with donors. So the question is, what are some, hold on. The question actually is I'm sorry, what is a sustainable donor? What is a sustainable donor? What do they do? First of all, let's look at these two words separately. Let's look at the two words separately. First of all, sustaining. Sustaining means to continue, to be stable, to be not ending, ongoing. Let me see, is that good? Sustaining, stable, to be stable. And so if we look at donor, so that's stable and ongoing and continuing. If we look at donor, it means someone who supports, gives gifts, give to. So if you put them together, it is a donor, a person who gives to and helps your organization becomes ongoing. You see how that means? It means a person who gives to your organization and supports your organization. They can do it weekly, monthly. Some people do it by pay periods, so that would be 2 times a month. Usually it's a reoccurring gift, whether it reoccurs, like I said, monthly. Sometimes it's yearly, like somebody who gives a gift to your organization yearly. And a lot of times they will do this through automatic means. So it's even better to get them when they're automatic. Now, that's when a donor is choosing to not give a one-off gift, a one-time gift, which is always good. But this is when a donor cares so much about your mission and what you're doing in your community or in your nonprofit that they actually know that they want to support this as an ongoing effort, and they want to see you do the work, and they want to be part of that work. So besides money, they can do it in other ways. But to be a sustaining donor means that you are supporting the organization in an ongoing method. And sustainability is one of the biggest, I'll say, issues, and one of the things that any nonprofit organization should look to do. Because why would you start a program that you can't continue? You know what I mean? Start something, and then once the people in the community start to depend on the program, you're gone. And also, like I said, donors should be one of your biggest pieces of the pie because they're a little more dependable than trying to go get grants, because everybody else is trying to get grants. And besides, research has shown that you'll be surprised to find that research has shown that people actually have increased their giving even during COVID. You would think it would have went down because of, sometimes people have lost their jobs or whatever, but actually giving has increased. So what you want to do is to try to garner donors so that they can understand what you do, give them your mission, bring them into the mission so that they will start to support your programs in a sustainable way to keep you going on and on and on. And now I also like to tell people in your donor program, it is very important to build a relationship with your donors. So you should have a donor relations plan, which is how do you bring them in? How do you connect them to the mission of what you're doing? How do you be transparent with what you're doing, or even getting them involved in what you're doing? Donors love to be involved in what you're doing. Remember to thank your donors. Remember to give them a part of what you're doing, and sometimes even invite them to be volunteers, sit on committees. You can do all kinds of things to actually build a relationship with your donors, because it's very important to build a relationship before you would even ask for money. Because can you imagine somebody just come along and say, hey, give me money, and they don't even know what you're doing? You may give them a little snippet, maybe a minute of what you're doing, but you expect them to now go in their purse. Now, of course, this can happen because you can hold out a pail or something or whatever. But I mean, sustaining donors usually are donors that feel connected with the nonprofit program, that in the nonprofit's mission and the people that you are serving. So that's what you want to try to achieve. And it's very important to try to achieve donors that are willing to partner with you, come along beside you, to help the programs be available to the community in which you serve. And so, but one thing I like to tell you, like I said, I wasn't going to keep you long today, but I did want to answer that question. It was so important to me to answer that question. I think I had about 2 or 3 people send me that because a lot of donor campaigns are going on now. And so you can even, the way you can actually keep them with you too is to think about different groups of donors. You can call somebody sustainer circle, the friend circle, the this circle, and do it by levels. I think I'll probably teach on that. How can you create donor levels and donor giving plans and donor relations plans? But you can even create different levels. Everybody who gave $5 to $50, they're called this. And you can even give premiums or things, you give it this level, you get a pin with our name on it. Different things like that to at least build a relationship with your donors. Because remember, your donors are people too. They're not ATM machines. They're people too. And they want to be treated with respect, with reverence, and with care. With care. Who wants to just be an ATM, but that you're showing not saying thank you, not maybe talking to them, calling them, getting them involved with the programs? That's the best way to bring together donors with your mission so that you can then create sustainable donors. You can then create sustainable donors. So I hope that answers the question for you. The 2 of you, you may know who you are if you're looking at the recording or whatever. Like I said, I wasn't going to be before you long today, but I did need to jump on here and answer that question for those of you who had reached out to me and asked you who are sustainable donors and what some ways we can get them. Think about this. Before somebody become a sustaining donor, you need to get them to give the first gift. You need the first gift. Then you can ask them for that. Before you even ask for the first gift, let them know what your mission is. Give them the opportunity to join with your mission and learn who you are, learn what you do, so that they can then connect with the mission. And then that will lead them on the pathway to becoming a sustainable donor. All right. So like I said, nothing long, but I did want to answer the question. I thank all of you. If you have a question that you would like to ask, you can just send your questions in. You can do it by Facebook. You can send it to my email, which is DrDebra at DrDebra NonprofitSolutions.com. Again, that's DrDebra at DrDebraNonprofitSolutions.com. But like I said, you can even message me on Facebook. All right. So join me here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and get your questions answered about anything you have about nonprofit and how to start nonprofits, how to sustain a nonprofit, and anything about funding and getting you funding ready. You can find it right here. So send me those questions. It's been great being here with you today. This has been a nonprofit nugget with Dr. Deborah. And I was just giving you a little something to chew on. Have a great week. See you next week.